Okay guys, I went out and dug up all my junky knives for Cutlery Lover Jeff to have an entry into his contest. So, there's Max. But anyway, I thought I'd show sort of an overall view first, and then kind of zoom in so I could show each one of them quickly. So I guess the reason I'm calling this my knife non-collection is because all these knives that I have really weren't bought with the intention of collecting. They were mainly bought or given to me. I have a few that were given to me by my grandfather, but most of them were just bought for their function. You may know I'm a contractor, a general contractor, so and you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about, that most of these knives are just there's nothing special about them. They're just functional. So they're either knives that I use with work or that I have made for the fun of it, just to see how hard it is to make a knife. So anyway, let's get started. I don't have a lot of time. I guess the first one that was given to me that I'd like to show is this old Barlow knife my grandfather gave me. And you can see it was really used a lot and sharpened a lot, if you can see the curvature of the blade there. But that's kind of neat, and so I keep that in a decent place. Another knife is this Solingen, I think it's pronounced that. It's a German made knife, little folder pocket knife, and it's engraved on the blade. You can't see it, but let me read it right quickly. It says hammered forged, Germany, surgical stainless. So anyway, again, I'm sure it's not worth that much, but it's kind of a knife I keep with the one my grandfather gave me. The other knife is just a case pocket knife. I'm not sure how old this knife is, but it's just your standard case. These are, I guess, going into some of my work knives. This was an EDC knife I had for a long time, for like 3 years. It's just a little Stanley cheapo knife, but it's the perfect size for a keychain. So I had this on my keychain forever, and it's pretty cool. It was, and it locked, got a little locking mechanism there. But what replaced that EDC knife on my keychain is my Kershaw, oh so sweet, which is currently my favorite knife. Well, I carry it with me every day, so I guess you could call it my favorite. So, and a lot of these little knives don't have keychain holes, but I love that about these knives. I'll give you an example. This was a little knife with just a cheap Gerber that I bought, that I thought was going to be like an EDC knife for me, but when you close it, I didn't realize the blade would interfere with the keychain, and I even tried wrapping it around that little end post there. That didn't work either. So this is now like a letter opener for my desk, which is, it holds an edge pretty good, not bad. Let's see, this is just a little crappy EDC item I tried out. It's a novelty, and so I'll show you another little Gerber. Oh, that's Buck. Yeah, that's a Buck. But I really just never used this thing. It just took up space on my keychain. So, another letter opener. Let's see here. Just a few quick, my little multi-tools, which I carry this one in a case, sheath with me all the time. Has a pretty good blade on it. This is a little miniature one. You put it in my hand to give you an idea how big it is. And it's got a pretty sharp little knife on it. I don't even know who makes this. I saw it. It was on sale at Lowe's, I think for $4. So I'm always needing a little screwdriver, you know, a little multi-tool for my keychain. So it folds up nice and small. So these two items are on my keychain now. So anyway, okay, here's another little EDC experiment gone bad. Little Gerber curve. I wouldn't advise anybody get one of these. It's just really, talk about novelty. The little spring comes off, the knife opens. I've got stabbed a few times by it on my keychain. So that's another EDC failure as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, on to the positive stuff. Here's a big old knife that I made. This was made, again, these are just sort of experiments I did to see what the process of making a knife would be like, and I have videos on all these knives I've made. But I knew this was basically not going to work out because this is structural steel that I made this out of, and it's too soft, you know, for really making a decent knife out of. But I made it as a chopper for softer wood, just something I could bang on. And I made this before I had my BK2. So anyway, but you know, it's kind of neat learning how to make a handle. This is Siberian larch that I had left over from a project that I made the handle out of. So that was a pretty neat experience. A sheath. This was when I was learning to make leather sheaths. Another little knife I made is this one out of a drop. I had a cut off of one of my machetes that I made, and again, it's the Siberian larch handle. Pretty neat. It's kind of a weird shape, but I was trying to make a small chopper out of this one that I could do some small chopping chores or digging, you know, digging in the dirt to save my better knives, and then of course I made the sheath for it, which has the retainer strap. Here was a neat little experiment. This was again, I've got videos on this stuff. This little knife I made was a putty knife. Okay, just basically an old putty knife. Now it has to be the rigid steel. It can't be the floppy putty knife, but you can take these and cut them just to make again, it's just the experience of doing it. This knife is really junky, but and I made a simple little sheath for it. But again, if you just want to go out and use a knife like this to dig around with, you know, that's what you want to use. Something junky like that instead of your good knife. Because this knife is really hard to put an edge on, and it obviously won't hold an edge very well either. Let's see, I'm not going to go quickly. This is just a cheap folding knife that I had, little sheath, just to go through some quick work knives. Now I know what you're going to say, these don't qualify as knives. Well, they cut stuff and they're used every day by real men. There's sort of a hybrid between a utility knife and a folding knife. That's pretty neat. It's a Stanley. And this one's kind of cool. This one's kind of an electrician's utility knife. It's called the Shark. It's got wire cutters and all kinds of things on it, strippers. Kind of cool. Here's a little Irwin. Again, this has a little locking mechanism, so they were trying to, you know, sort of a hybrid between a folding knife, a utility knife and a folding pocket knife. So, you know, they were just trying to mix up the concepts a little bit there. This is funny. I just have this for the fun of it. My little Gerber hatchet. And you can see I didn't prepare very well for this. This is just all dirty. And then, for last but certainly not least, my Gerber BK2, which is my prized day pack knife that I carry with me for chopping wood and stuff like that. And you may have seen the video I did, the BK2 sheath from hell. It's mollied onto my Maxpedition pack, so I can't get it off. It's really on there good. But it has the little pouch for the fire steel and all that. And again, I have a video on that if you want to see it. Anyway, this is all my knife collection. It's not a collection. It's just stuff. It's junk I've collected over the years. Okay, one more last look here. My junky knife collection. Okay, Jeff, just want to say thanks for all your work on YouTube. You put a lot of decent, really good videos, and sometimes I give you a hard time, but that's just because I like you. So, anyway, good luck to everybody.